Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. We made it through the week. It is Friday, March 4th, 2022. Let's take a look and see what's on the docket. First, Chad Daybell catches a break. An update on the Teacher of the Year. You may find this hard to believe, but people lie. But guess what? The truth comes out. It may take a little time, but the truth does come out. The Boston bomber, he's not going to get a resentencing hearing. The United States Supreme Court took care of that for him. A few more restaurant assaults, I know. And then a story about something that is cold. Even I was shocked by this. I've seen lots of things, but this is cold. And then finally, our dumb criminal of the day. That's right. Blame it on Putin. Let's talk about it. Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. My name is Scott Reich, and this is Crime Talk. It is Friday, March 4th, 2022. Listen, before we get to the docket, let's get through the formalities. First, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so. Hit that little bell, leave me a comment, and please make sure if you can't watch us, you can always listen to us by downloading us on any of your favorite podcasting apps. First on the docket, Chad Daybell catches a break. Prosecutors in Arizona announced that they will not file conspiracy to commit murder charges against Chad Daybell in the attempted shooting case of Lori Vallow's former nephew-in-law, Brandon Boudreaux, in October of 2019. The statement from the Maricopa County Attorney's Office said, after a lengthy and careful review of the charge of conspiracy to commit murder, Chad Daybell, the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, has decided to turn down the case, citing no reasonable likelihood of conviction. Prosecutors have not announced if Lori Vallow will face charges in connection with the shooting, and based upon the evidence obtained during the investigation, police believe Alex Cox, Lori's brother and Pawlowski's uncle, drove a green Jeep Wrangler from Rexburg, fired a single shot at Boudreaux, and missed. Cox then drove back to Idaho. Now, as we know, Alex Cox died of natural causes in December of 2019 at his home in Arizona. Mr. Boudreaux told investigators that on the morning of the incident, he left his home with his 4 children around 7:25 in the morning and returned about 9:14. He said he saw a black window of a Jeep open up and a gun point towards him. The gun was fired and a bullet hit the front driver's side door of his Tesla. Chad's next hearing, where he faces first-degree murder charges, is scheduled for March 18th, and his trial is now set in January of 2023. We brought you the video yesterday of the Teacher of the Year, and he really was the Teacher of the Year, but I don't think he's going to win this year's award, okay? The Teacher of the Year, Michael Hosinski of Osceola, Indiana, was arrested on a preliminary charge of battery. Now, in the school surveillance video, Hosinski is seen slapping a student on the face last week so hard that the student's head hit the wall behind him. The school district's board confirmed the incident in a statement, saying Hosinski confronted a student about their attire, specifically a hoodie. The verbal exchange culminated with an open-handed slap. The district said the student suffered visible injuries. I still want to know what the student said. You never know. It could be some sort of heat of passion defense. A lot of people said, hey, teachers shouldn't be able to do anything. Other people said in the comments yesterday about the video, maybe if teachers were able to engage in a little corporal punishment, then maybe the students would be a little more respectful to the staff, so to speak. I'm not exactly sure where it lies. All I know is if my son or daughter had talked back to a teacher, you better hope the teacher got a hold of you, because it would be a lot worse if I had got it. All right. I know you may find this hard to believe, ladies and gentlemen, but people lie. And people lie for some of the dumbest reasons possible. But guess what? The truth usually comes out, or a pretty close version of it. It may take some time, but the truth comes out. Well, let me give you an example. In 2016, a California mom claimed that she was kidnapped for 22 days by 2 Hispanic women. The mother was found on Thanksgiving Day in 2016 after weeks of searching, after she allegedly disappeared while jogging on November 2nd. On November 2nd, Sherry Papini's husband, Keith, reported her missing at 5:50 p.m. after returning home from work. She was nowhere to be found, and their 2 children were still at daycare. Keith then used the Find My iPhone app to locate Sherry's phone that was sitting on the side of the road near their home, which Keith, the husband, said seemed to be placed there. Now, Sherry Papini was found tied up with a broken nose, a brand on her right shoulder, and a shaved head. Papini told authorities she was kidnapped at gunpoint by these two Hispanic women and provided descriptions of the women for a sketch artist. No one was ever arrested, and authorities could never determine what the motive was for kidnapping Miss Papini. Well, when Miss Papini was found on Thanksgiving Day 2016, police collected DNA samples from her clothes. They ran them against the National Criminal Database, but found no matches. However, in 2020, they were alerted to a potential match. It matched to Papini's ex-boyfriend's father, whose DNA was recorded with the Department of Justice. They then traced that sample to the ex-boyfriend, and he admitted the entire hoax. Papini was never kidnapped. Instead, she was with her unidentified ex-boyfriend, who police say she asked to pick her up. The pair plotted their escape on prepaid cell phones, which they used to text each other before collecting her in November of 2016. An affidavit released by a United States Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of California details how Papini had multiple affairs and boyfriends and was described by exes as an attention-hungry woman who made things up for sympathy. Between 2017 and 2022, Papini claimed a total of $30,000 in payments, 35 payments to be exact, from the Victims' Compensation Board. And that's what she's getting prosecuted for. The truth comes out, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, sometimes when people disappear, maybe they really didn't disappear. Maybe they were out with their boyfriends. You just never know. Next on the docket, that Zarnoff guy, remember him? Dzhokhar Zarnoff? The Court of Appeals said that he should get a new sentencing hearing because it wasn't fair. Well, the United States Supreme Court said not so fast. This morning, they upheld the death sentence of Dzhokhar Zarnoff, one of the two brothers responsible for the 2013 Boston Marathon bombing, which led to the death of 3 spectators and a police officer. Now, reversing a lower court decision, and the ruling was 6-3 along conservative and liberal lines. Now, Zarnoff committed heinous crimes, Justice Clarence Thomas wrote. For the majority, the Sixth Amendment nonetheless guaranteed him a fair trial before an impartial jury. He received one. As you may recall, Zarnoff was convicted in 2015 in the death of Crystal Campbell, Martin Richard, and Lingxing Liu at the marathon, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology police officer Sean Collier several days later, among several other charges. Hundreds were injured after Zarnoff and his brother Tamerlan set off 2 shrapnel bombs near the finish line, leaving the sidewalks strewn with BBs, nails, metal, scraps, and glass fragments. Tamerlan would later die in a gunfight with police, but Dzhokhar is being held in federal prison right here in lovely Colorado. As you may recall, I've told you there's an unofficial rule out there, and it's called the son of a bitch rule, okay? And that's kind of what the Supreme Court said here. Hey, you're not entitled to a perfect trial, only a fair trial, and this guy's a real son of a bitch, so we're not going to go through that all again. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Next on the docket, a little more restaurant crime. And I know people think, God, why do you pick on McDonald's? I'm just telling you, that's where it takes place. But wait, I am an equal opportunist, and we will show you things happen not just at McDonald's, but at high-end restaurants as well. So a woman in Georgia has been arrested after allegedly attacking a McDonald's worker in Atlanta following a dispute over her food order. The woman, who has not been named, allegedly assaulted an employee by pulling her hair and jumping over the counter, where it is claimed that she then began throwing items around the restaurants. Officers arrived on scene, took the woman into custody. She was transported to the DeKalb County Jail, where, as the Dunwoody Police Department put it, her evening meal was likely much different than the quarter pounder and cheese that she, in fact, ordered. I just don't get it. Where do people get such short fuses, ladies and gentlemen? Well, wait, there's more. A man was charged with battery after he allegedly threw a receipt into a restaurant server's face, grabbed her by the shoulders, and pushed her because he was unhappy with the meal. The incident happened at the upscale Pattern House restaurant in Geneva, Illinois. When his meal arrived, 58-year-old John Danowski complained that it was cold. The server offered to have his dinner removed, and told him he didn't have to pay for the meal. The bill for the food and alcoholic beverages that Denzowski and his party ordered was $351.23, minus the price of Danowski's meal. When the bill was provided to him, John then stood up, puffed up his chest, and got into the server's face. John crumpled the receipt and threw it into the server's face. John continued to be aggressive. He grabbed the server by her shoulders, pushing her backwards, and stated, "I'm not going to pay for anything. Call the police. I'll wait." Careful what you wish for, Mr. Dankowski, because when the police arrived, they in fact arrested you on charges of battery, a Class A misdemeanor punishable up to 364 days in jail and up to $2,500 fine if convicted. Wouldn't it have just been easier to be nice and pay the bill? It just shows you there are jerks everywhere at McDonald's as well as high-end restaurants. Okay, probably one of the coldest, and I mean just this is cold, stories that we brought to you in a long time. A 46-year-old woman has been arrested on animal cruelty charges after throwing a 3-year-old pug named Bucky off a 7th floor balcony in a Clearwater, Florida condominium during an argument with her ex-boyfriend. Now, Eric Anderson told the Clearwater police investigators the woman, who he had dated for several months, also threw his keys and cell phone over the balcony on Sunday. The dog was found deceased on the pavement below. A civil complaint has been filed against the woman seeking damages in the amount of $30,000. The complaint said that the couple had ended their relationship in February, but that she had arrived at the apartment condominium on Sunday smelling of alcohol and believes verbally aggressive toward the owner. He asked her to leave, but she refused and instead picked up the dog and threw it over the balcony. The woman was also arrested on Monday, faces criminal mischief and domestic battery charges, according to the Pinellas County Jail records. Now, Neal said the civil complaint was filed to send a message to the woman and others that acts of cruelty against animals are utterly outrageous, indecent, and completely unacceptable in our society. And there's a lot of research out there that if you abuse animals, well, you're probably a cold-blooded killer too. So, just saying. That's cold. A dog over a balcony. You can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Before we get to today's Dumb Criminal, quick recap of the dumb criminals throughout the week. First, Monday, Theodore John Evans from Jupiter, Florida was pulled over and told officers that he was just high and happy. Well, the police confirmed that by finding marijuana candies, a glass pipe, a vape pen inside his car shortly after the stop and those admissions. Tuesday, we didn't have a dumb criminal this week. Wednesday, a Miami man, David Martinez, threatened to cut the gay out of his brother. Not sure how that's going to happen. And basically, it's just dumb. Thursday, Christina Blair started an argument with a man who had a bumper sticker indicating that he was vaccinated against COVID. Blair pulled a gun on the man in a threatening way, and the man called 911. Yeah, that's what you have to do. It's a crazy world. And then finally today, a driver in Florida was pulled over after going 50 in a 30-mile-an-hour speed zone in the Palm Coast. The body cam footage shows the driver telling the deputy that Putin was to blame after he ran a stop sign with the interaction with the police officer. He said, "I'll tell you the truth. I just found out that Putin is saying he's going to launch a nuclear thermal war against the world. I was trying to get back home to find out what was going on." Well, you know what this guy should have done? He should have gone to crimetalkprep.com, and he would not have anything to worry about because he would know that his family was safe and he would have an emergency food supply. And if you go to crimetalkprep.com, guess what? You can get $150 off a 3-month package of emergency food. Now, you don't have to buy 3 months. You can buy a couple of weeks, a couple of days if all you want. But the point is, you need to be prepared for the unexpected. Hey, I was watching the news last night, and there's reports of nuclear power plants on fire because of the war in Ukraine. What the hell is going on, ladies and gentlemen? The whole world has gone crazy, so you have to be prepared for the complete unexpected, because who would have thought we'd be this close to a nuclear war or some sort of nuclear disaster? I'm telling you, be prepared. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great week. We'll see you next time on Crime Talk.